Hey guys, it's me again. Back here, just finished reading the new Batman, Batman number 7. Take a look right there. Bam. This book continues to impress. I mean, I don't even know what really to say about this book other than it's probably some of the best Batman stories I've ever read. Um, the world that Scott Snyder has crafted, coupled with the fantastic art of Greg Capullo, I mean, this is coming up on some of the best Batman I've read ever. This one kind of goes a little bit further with the Court of Owls and kind of deals with a nice little encounter with Batman and Nightwing. Kind of Bruce finds out something to do with spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Bruce kind of finds out something and has an interesting way to open Dick's eyes up to it. And, I just want to show this one panel in here. It's one of my favorite drawn panels that Capullo's did, and it kind of captures everything, of how Bruce deals with stuff. Take a look at that right there. Tell me that is not crazy cool. I mean, look at the expression on Nightwing's face as he's getting hit. I mean, that's amazing. One of my favorite panels in really in this whole series, honestly. I just think this book is probably the most complete in terms of storytelling, in terms of art, in terms of the twists they do. I mean, Batman number 5 blew my mind. I mean, when he was going through the maze and they started turning the book upside down. I mean, I thought, I know it's not I know a lot of you guys are probably going to comment. I know it's not the first comic to really do the whole page turning thing, but what they were able to do with the story and make the book turn itself, I mean, I got confused reading it a little bit. I was like, wait, I have to force myself to go the opposite direction because the book was being read upside down because Bruce was in the maze, and it was Capullo's way of, it was his way of basically trying to confuse the reader. And he did a great job of it. It was kind of putting the reader in the same mindset that Batman was in at the time. This book, I mean, I can't find a flaw in it. I mean, it's just a great story. It's great art coupled with a great story. And really, I mean, I knew Greg was great when he did his run of Spawn. I mean, that's still, in terms of every comic that I've read, that run he did on Spawn, which was from about, I want to say 20 or 30, around that range, all the way through issue 100 of Spawn. Still to this day, probably some of the best Spawn books that will ever be. Now, I know McFarlane said he's coming back. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but Greg Capullo, your art is amazing. I only have one suggestion for you, Mr. Capullo, if you see this. I was at last year's Baltimore Comic Con when you were there. You tend to take a little bit of time with the people. Now, some of you may say that's good. Kind of on the fence on that. You spend a long time signing books and, being there with just talking with the people. And that's fine. I understand you want to really get in and you want to talk back with the community. I have one suggestion. Please, just come with some signed pictures. I mean, I really appreciate your art. And really, that's all I really want for my collection. I just want a nice little piece signed. And I understand you're going to take your time with the people that have waited overnight at your booth. But honestly, for me, I just want one little piece of art signed. That's all I want. I don't need a whole box of books signed. I don't need that. That's not something I'm interested in. I'm interested in seeing you do this every month. I mean, this to me, this book, whether you sign it or not, and I don't really care. I mean, I'm putting this away after I read it, and, I'll let some friends borrow it if they want to read a great story. But that's about it. I mean, Batman number 7. Review, final verdict, final of my rant, rave, review thing. I give it a 5 out of 5. I have not seen one of these books falter in quality whatsoever. I think Capallo is picking right back up where he left off of Spawn. And he did Haunt. I did enjoy Haunt. He did the first 5 or 6 issues of that. And I really enjoyed those early 5 or 6 issues. I really enjoy reading Capallo's art. I would say he is in the same class as Jim Lee. I really would. I think those two guys are at the top of their game right now. And some of the stuff, you know, Capallo's doing, especially with the story he's basically drawing it to, is probably some of the best stuff that he's ever done. Really, really enjoying it. Anyone who has any inclination of even picking up a comic, you can't go wrong with any of the new Batman. You can't. You can't. Even if you're not a hardcore comic fan, just pick up the new Batman. It's great. It'll be one of the best comics you ever pick up. I can't recommend it enough. Scott Snyder, you keep doing what you're doing, sir, because I can't describe it. You're doing magic on the paper. Doing magic every month. You're a wizard. Be good and keep drinking the Batman Kool-Aid.